This video is about how to get out of a rut. So you might be in a rut right now where you're just trying to get out. You feel a little stuck in your routine and you got a routine of bad habits. Your mental health isn't so great. A little bit of anxiety, a little bit of depressive thoughts throughout the day. Your self-talk isn't so good, but you have some habits like either vaping, weed, drinking, being lazy, procrastinating on something that you know you should take action on, watching too much Netflix, watching too much TV, mindlessly scrolling social media, eating too much fast food, something in that direction. Vaping, weed, drugs, already mentioned that. And you want to implement some better habits into your life. You want to get on a routine. You want to have a consistent gym routine. You want to eat a little bit healthier. You want to look a little bit better in your t-shirt. You want to fill out your t-shirt and be a little more confident when you go outside in public. So this video is important because it's going to share the action steps that I took to get out of the rut that I was in and go from 193 pounds, damn near obese, I kid you not, damn near obese, into 157 pounds at my leanest and building about 10 to 20 pounds of muscle throughout that process. So I'm going to share with you the action steps I took, where I started, and ultimately the action steps that you can take to get out of this rut and stay out of this rut. So it all started when I was 193 pounds, working at Cheesecake Factory, getting a whole shit ton of free cheesecakes, way too many, and ultimately getting free menu items after you work a long shift. So I was constantly eating throughout the day, was not paying attention to my weight. I was doing some other drugs at the time I was not very proud of, smoking weed. I was more high than I was sober throughout the day, which is pretty sad to say. But I can't remember being sober. I didn't have a sober thought going through my brain. Eating fast food, surrounded by my high school group of friends, which I love to death, awesome, amazing people. But at that time, we didn't have the best habits. And it was habits that I was trying to break out of too. I was trying to change up my life, but every time I hung out with them, we would consistently do the same habits. So ultimately, I had to leave that group in order to change my environment so I could change up my life, change up my habits. And it was these little steps that I took outside of my comfort zone. It didn't happen all at once. I tried to quit weed, tried to quit vaping, failed multiple times. I would throw out my own vape and find myself going back to a smoke shop within 5 to 7 days, justifying in my brain why it's okay to go back to a smoke shop. I remember vividly, I was driving down the freeway. I threw it out the window to be all dramatic for some reason about how I'm never gonna vape again. And within 5 days, I was back in the smoke shop, just listening to justifications in my brain about, oh, it's nicotine, it's not that bad. It doesn't cost that much. But I knew deep down it was controlling my brain. It was controlling my brain in an unhealthy manner. And ultimately, what helped me get out of this rut is through, you're not gonna like this answer. If you're in a rut right now where you're trying to break out of it, it is absolute sheer force. It is the power of will, 100% power of will that it takes to get out of this rut. Especially if you got all those habits dragging you down. I mean, that's dopamine on dopamine, man. All these artificial sources of dopamine I mentioned, the vaping, the weed, the drugs, the Pornhub, the TV, the Netflix. It is through sheer absolute force that you have to break out of that pattern. Those things control your brain to an unfathomable level. And I tried. I wasn't perfect. I tried for maybe 2-3 years to break out of this routine, and I failed little by little, but every little amount I made a little bit of progress. So I would quit for 30 days, get back into it. Quit for 60 days, fall back into it. And then I would be in this routine where I kind of keep doing the bad habit, and then I'm like, you know what, I can't do it. Okay, I've got to break out of it. Go through like 3 months, and then fall back into it a little bit. But every single step that I made, whether it was the vaping, the weed, the porn, the Netflix, the constantly scrolling social media, laziness, procrastination, not going to the gym, every little dip I had where I kind of like felt like I reset progress, I didn't actually reset my progress. It's like I reached checkpoint level 2 and made a little bit of progress past level 2 and then reset back to level 2. Made a little bit of progress to level 3, kept going, and then reset back to level 3. Because every time I reset, I was a little bit stronger than I was before. But that wasn't my mindset when I was doing it. My mindset when I was doing it was, dude, I fucked up again. How could I not give this up entirely? And I wish I had someone to tell me, dude, you gotta celebrate your wins. when it comes to getting out of a rut. You're not gonna break out of it right away. You're not gonna immediately stop all the bad habits right away. You're not gonna quit drinking right away. It's not gonna happen. You have to measure little bits of progress. I realized that when I was trying to cut out binge eating, because at that time I cut out the other bad habits, but I realized I was still a binge eater and it was fucking up my weight loss. And so every little bit of progress I made with binge eating, I was like, you know what? Let me go 2 days without eating an insane amount of sugar and fast food. Fuck yeah, I made 2 days. All right, I'm gonna binge eat tonight. I just have to. All right, let's go 3 days now. Once I made 3 days, fuck yeah, bro. We made 3 days. We made 3 days. Okay, let's go 4 days and 5 days and so on. And you have to let yourself feel good about these little wins of progress, because I'll constantly have clients now that are trying to build muscle, lose body fat, and we're finding them success. We're making a lot of progress when it comes to their workout routine. But in their head, we're so forward-minded creatures that all we think about is the progress that we're not making, the goals that we now have again. I'll have a dude come in and he'll go from drinking 6 out of 7 days per week, multiple cans per day, and bring it down to 3 cans per day or 2 cans per day. And he's still beating himself up to the point. It's like we're so forward-minded that you can't see your own progress that you're making. Like, you gotta feel good about those small wins. I'll have clients come into the gym and they'll start hopping onto a consistent routine, lose about 2 pounds in their first 2 weeks. They're learning the right form, they're building the right habits, their sleep is better, their energy is better within that first month, but they're still thinking to themselves, dude, I haven't lost my 10 pounds. I haven't lost my 20 pounds. I gotta lose more weight. Of course, dude, we're getting there. The point is we're getting there. But you gotta think about the small wins that you are making, because celebrating those small wins will keep you going further. Just beating yourself down because you're not at the end result yet will not get you there. I remember throughout my weight loss journey, I would constantly beat myself up as soon as I saw my post-workout pump in the mirror. I would just see my man boobs and belly fat kind of hanging out, and I wouldn't know action-based self-talk. What you need to understand is action-based self-talk. What actions are you taking towards your goals? Whatever goals you have, there's small daily actions that built up over time will get you to your long-term goals. What are those small daily actions, and are you taking those consistently? Because if you took those daily actions, then you need to celebrate those daily actions instead of thinking about the long-term result. Fuck yeah, let's go. That needs to be your mindset. Fuck yeah, let's go. I quit vaping for 7 days. I did it again on the 7th day, but fuck yeah, let's go, because that's progress. And you need to hype yourself up mentally for it, because that's going to change your self-talk. And once you change your self-talk, the whole world becomes a lot better. Your confidence becomes a lot better. The way you view the world is a lot better. So that's how you're going to get out of this rut, is through sheer force and by setting a plan. You're going to set some habits for yourself. You're going to knock it out on a binder, some notebooks, a piece of paper, notes on your phone. What is your goal? You have to write down your goal, because if you just say quit weed, quit vaping, build 20 pounds of muscle, that's so far out there. Yeah, that long-term goal is good, but you need to build some weekly goals for yourself, man. It's get into the gym and stay in the gym 5 out of 7 days this week. Get into the gym and stay in the gym 6 out of 7 days this week. Finish my workout. Drink 1 gallon of water every single day and stay consistent with that habit. Because what that's going to do is you're going to sit down at the end of the week and think, dude, fuck yeah, let's go. I was actually able to knock out this weekly habit. And it's going to tell your brain that, hey, you're actually capable of progress. This is the right action towards your goals, and look at it. The past week, you just made that action. It was hard for you before, but now you knocked it out, and going into this next week, it's probably gonna feel a little bit easier. So let's set a next step that's outside of your comfort zone. How you're gonna break out of this rut is through setting a plan, setting a long-term goal, breaking that down into weekly goals, and setting small steps for yourself, literally the smallest step. I'm working on my social skills right now. So what I'm doing, what I plan to do in the next 90 days is to start cold approaching beautiful women out here in Honolulu and get their number. That's something I've always been uncomfortable with, but I'm gonna do it, right? And I'm doing that through small steps. I'm not saying, hey, dude, I didn't come out here in the past 2 days thinking, all right, dude, I got to go approach the hottest girl and get her phone number and take her on a date. That's so fucking out there. I wouldn't tell a beginner in the gym, hey, dude, you got to lift 315 pounds on the bench. So my measure of success is